is AI-powered patient record system to save doctors time. So if you would like to unmute yourselves, you can open your mics and video, or one of them, however you want to present. But please unmute yourselves at least and make yourself visible so you can start the presentation. Again, I repeat. So the first thing that was made it in the finalist is AI-powered patient record systems to save doctors' time. I assume that's the project name.
Hello, that was our project.
Oh, hello. How many of you are on today? Are you going to take part of this on this presentation?
There's 3 of us.
Great, great. Whenever you feel ready, I'll have to remind you it's going to be 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, I'll if you haven't finished, I'll let you know that you had to wrap up everything, so we can keep going. So whenever you're ready, you can start.
Okay. So our project was an artificial intelligence powered patient record system that is designed to save doctors time. So we were a group of 4, we're now 3, who come together to design this project. So we're going to talk about what the problem is, what our solution is, and then the uniqueness of our solution. So the problem is, in the UK, doctors spend a lot of their time on admin when they really should be saving lives. Data is stored on various electronic and physical records, which take a lot of time by doctors to aggregate and process together, which we think is unnecessary, can be solved by technology. And this is because the patient notes are organized, doctors are busy, and they waste time collating and reading through all the doctor's notes and test results. So the solution would be to have a centralized system where all of the patient information and their tests and their clinical notes can all be viewed at the same time, and they don't have to go through these manual and different electronic systems. So we designed a simple web app that collates all the patient data, and it provides access to all these results in one place, like imaging data and the clinical notes. And we also created this artificial intelligence triage system that would take in the clinical notes, the blood tests, and the patient information, and be able to predict immediate areas to further investigate for the doctor, which just provides a second opinion for them and provides them with sort of necessary actions and just triage of all of the information. And it provided a little search feature up here where you can change between the different patients. So this project, we're planning to implement a natural language processing model to identify the important patient symptoms from the doctor's clinical notes. However, we didn't have time to do this, and this would highlight the key words to speed up interpretation by the doctor, and then it could pass these to the triage system. So this triage system was a machine learning model that's been trained in the time of this HackMed, and it triages different patient predictions based on their clinical data. It suggests the seriousness of the conditions and the likeliness of them. And it provided color coding so that the doctor could see at a glance what's going on. So this machine learning model used decision tree classification. It was written in Python. It takes in the data, as you said, and then finds the prediction. So it takes in all of these different inputs and provides a prediction for each of the patients. So the uniqueness of our solution is this system would allow all the notes to be in one place, and that would prevent the doctors having to look through countless files, allows the immediate delivery of test results to the doctor, as it would all be in one place. And then also this provides just the initial triage to help save doctors from making that initial triage, and provides a second opinion and immediate suggestions and at a glance viewing. Yeah, that was our project.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. I see it was written in Python mostly, right?
Yes, Python, HTML, CSS, and a bit of JavaScript, I think.
Yeah, seems to be very popular, Python, these days. All right. Also, thank you a lot for the presentation. Now we'll take a few minutes until the next team gets ready. And the next team that made it into the top 5, the project's name is Biological Production of Drugs in Short Supply. So congratulations for making the top 5. Please make yourselves visible by unmuting or sharing video as well. And when everyone of the team is up, we can start the second presentation. And make yourselves known by saying hi.
Hello.
Hello.
I just need to reopen the presentation. I've closed it and lost it.
That's all right. That's all right. Take a minute. It's okay. We haven't started yet. So when you're ready, you can start your presentation.
Discord.
I'll say this before every presentation. Please keep it within 5 minutes. I'm gonna let you know if you get past this 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thanks. Just share my screen. Cool. Okay. Hi, everyone. The name of our project was React to Drug, and the point was to produce biologically produced drugs which are in short supply. So the inspiration to this obviously started with the whole COVID-19 pandemic and the fact that loads of drugs massively increased in demand and price during the pandemic because of misinformation and people suggesting, oh, this drug works, and the price skyrocketing after people found out about that. But another reason why we did this was because we actually realized that 27% of drug shortages come from the fact that simply the raw materials aren't available. And these raw materials are typically high quality, fine chemicals that need to be produced and refined. So our solution to this was to mine the reactome and the metabolomes of essentially all of the organisms that we could find. But the first thing that we wanted to do was we actually wanted to find out which drugs are in short supply. And so that involved going to the US Food and Drug Administration website and scraping as much as we could about, or web scraping as much as we could about the actual drugs that are in short supply. We then mapped these drugs to their KEBI IDs, and at the same time downloaded the UniProt database, which is a database of proteins, and the RIA database, which is a database of biological chemical reactions which proteins are involved with. We then actually combined the UniProt database, the RIA database, and the KEBI database into one kind of master database so that we could search either by reaction, by protein, or by KEBI ID and extract useful chemical information, reaction information, or biological information, such as the species of the enzyme, like the species which the enzyme comes from, or what the drug is. What we then did was we actually searched through the entire metabolomes, to find if any of these drugs were actually biologically producible. And so obviously, because the RIA database gives you chemical reactions, you can essentially take inputs to an enzyme, which are your substrates, and your outputs, which are your products, and you can create a network from this. And that essentially is your global biological metabolome, the the metabolic activity of every single biological system. And you can then filter based on organism and stuff if you just want to see one organism's metabolome. Anyway, so we actually searched through the metabolome to find what of these drugs might actually be biologically producible, and we actually found a few of them. But the the initial thing that we actually ran into, the challenge was that we actually had to scrape these websites, which were constantly dynamically changing, and merging these three data sets, which was an absolute pain. But before we get on to the main results, I'll just get on to like the kind of first things that we learned. And the first things that we learned is that the reactome of biology is absolutely massive. There are about 25,000 unique reactions available to you, and hundreds of thousands if you actually include the duplicates that exist in multiple species. So we actually have some visualizations here in 3D and 2D that kind of show how we were able to represent the metabolome as its graph. And you can see, like, you can zoom in and you can interactively see all the chemicals and what they're connected to. So in this case, a node represents a molecule and an edge represents an enzyme that catalyzes the change in that molecule. So we did two case studies. The first case study was retooling glycolysis to make 5 of the drugs that we found that were in short supply. And here we redivert a small amount of pyruvate in order to produce these 5 drugs, which are in short supply. And this involved essentially just running some graph search algorithms and optimizing the topology of this network in order to find reasonable, suitable reaction pathways. The second case study that we have was one in making progesterone. This is one of the most in-demand drugs at the moment for some reason. And we found a pathway linking UDP glucose, which is a molecule in high abundance in cells, to the production of progesterone. And what we've shown is we found the optimal route by finding the chemical similarity between subsequent steps to find the enzymes that best catalyze, the enzymes that most efficiently catalyze the change from our input, which is glucose, to our output, which is progesterone. So thank you for watching. You can visit these links online to check out interactive visualizations that you saw in the video, or you can check out all of the reproducible notebooks on the GitHub. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the presentation. It was right on time.
Thanks.
Thank you for that. Looked like you handle a lot of data, didn't you?
Yeah, quite a few. Like, yes, it was too much actually.
Understatement.
Yeah, it's always hard. Well, thank you for the presentation. Let me tell you the third team that made it to the final 5, and that would be MediConnect. I think that's a team name rather than the project name. So make yourselves known, unmute. You can show your video as well. So the third team is MediConnect.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Hi,
can hear
sorry,
you.
I don't know why I can't show my video, but let me just share my screen.
Mm-hmm. Feel free. Is it just you presenting?
Hello, everyone.
Oh,
My other team members on as well.
Okay. When everyone is up and running and you have your slides on, feel free to start. Please remain within the 5 minutes.
Okay, can you see my screen yet?
Nothing has come up yet. Maybe it's loading.
Are you able to see it?
Still, I cannot see share screen. Maybe someone else from the team can insert the presentation.
Can you share your screen, and both of our video links are on the dev post page?
Yeah, sure.
We can have a couple of minutes to set this up before we start then.
So we've got one video that explains the solution that we created and the problem that we were trying to address. And then our second video is explaining how the backend algorithm works. And then Kunal will show us share screen and show us how the front end algorithm API works.
Okay, sounds interesting.
Any luck?
Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Now we can see the video on the screen. So if you're ready, feel free to start. Please stay with
Yeah,
a few
sure.
minutes. Good luck.
Thank you. The COVID pandemic has devastated the whole world. At the moment, India is facing a particularly challenging second wave. With the exponential increase in cases, multiple hospitals have been forced to the brink of collapse due to a severe lack of medical oxygen. The problem of a lack of oxygen is being addressed by a number of private sector companies that are repurposing their factories to manufacture oxygen. The problem that then presents itself is how to most efficiently get this oxygen to the people who need it the most without wasting time that could save lives. Our solution is MediConnect. Now on to Kunal for a demonstration of our website.
We will be locating the nearby oxygen stations for a particular hospital the user searches for. So for example, in this the bed represents the hospital and the dot represents the nearby oxygen stations. The second feature is MediConnect COVID-19 Risk Assessment Calculator. In this, you have to enter your basic details and you will get the result that what is your risk rate for COVID. So for mine, it shows moderate. So I am safe.
This is how it
The
works.
logic behind the algorithm that is used is that each oxygen supplier can be nearby more than one hospital. For example, Hospital A can get oxygen from Supplier 1 and Supplier 2. However, Supplier 2 can also supply oxygen to Hospital B and Hospital C. Therefore, MediConnect would connect Hospital A with Supplier 1, as that way, Hospital B and Hospital C will not be disadvantaged by taking away potential supply.
In the future, we plan to add a feature by which new suppliers can register and be included. Currently, the radius is 10 kilometers, but we plan to overlay existing railway networks so we can make use of suppliers further afield. This is us. We created this project to help with the immediate pandemic situation, but our idea can be expanded into a long-term solution, for example, connecting pharmacies with their suppliers. From all of us here, thank you for listening.
I will just show you the another video too.
If we assign to each hospital all nearby suppliers, we can find a ratio of how many hospitals each supplier is nearby for each individual supplier. So, for example, this can be calculated for S1 as the frequency of S1, which is 5, divided by the frequency of all the suppliers. We then process this data. For example, with Python, we can create a list of all hospitals and corresponding suppliers nearby. And then within this, we can list the ratio we just calculated above and form a function to give an output of the supplier with the smallest ratio value. Therefore, when we run this file, we obtain an output of the best supplier for each hospital.
This shows our output, so the best supplier for Hospital A was supplier number 2.
Now I would like to proceed with our website. So in our website, we have included various health tracker. Like here, you can check your daily plans. Like if I give my details. In the lifestyle, you can write or active or anything else. You will find all the details, the requirement that your diet should need, and you can also modify it according to yourself. Like you can find how much you are completing your diet. After that, you can also, we have included a map where you can check the nearby oxygen station for the hospital. Like for a radius of 10 kilometers, we will find the dots represent the oxygen centers and the bed represents the hospitals. So,
And if you could just demonstrate the code that we wrote
yeah, sure.
in this API.
So I have enabled a JavaScript API from Google. I have taken this. So basically, by using this script, the API shows the demonstration part, and here I have included various variables where for the airport, ATM, banks, dentist, department store, and any other stuff I have given the variables, and from that it will fetch the nearby places using the function of initialize, and autocomplete will give the further denominations, and then from the center location of our globe, which Earth, it will take the nearby radius of around 5,000 kilometers it can go on, and it can check whether there is any nearby hospital, pharmacy, etc. And it will fetch the data from this code and gives you on the output.
If I don't know if you're done, but if we can wrap up.
Yeah, that was everything. So this is our website. We just want to show you a little bit of the code behind it, and the start of the presentation explained.
And we have also enabled a book and appointment system and a messenger to check to connect with the patient.
Okay. Oh, thank you
all.
very much. This looks like a big implementation. Thank you for the presentation and
Thank
for
you so
staying
much.
within time limit. Great. So let's keep going. So the next team and project that made the top 5 is Team SkinMed with the project Know What's on Your Skin. So make yourself visible.
Yeah, we are from Team SkinMed.
Welcome. When all of you that are going to take part in the presentation are here and you're ready, feel free to start presenting, and please keep within the 5 minutes.
Yeah, we're good to go. Can we start?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you. So I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So we are Team Misnomers, and we present our SkinMed, which is a one-stop solution to resolve all your skin-related anomalies. And to start with, COVID-19 had been playing havoc all around the world, and healthcare is no exception. And we witness people who are petrified of getting out of their doors, not just to seek medical attention, but for anything and everything else. So we just thought we could develop something that would aid help in healthcare, and that's why we dive deep into developing something for skincare. And all of us are worried about the zit, which popped out of nowhere, and the ongoing crisis is definitely stopping us from seeking medical attention. And that is why we developed SkinMed. SkinMed classifies a type of skin condition of the user from an image using image processing and machine learning. And if the user was diagnosed with an unusual skin condition, he or she can seek medical help by choosing over the wide range of top dermatologists in the current location, which would turn out to be fetching it in real time. And users could either chat with them or dial the respective dermatology clinic in no time. And before I show you the working prototype, this is the architecture of our application. Our mobile application is built in Flutter, and our image classifying models are built with Python. And we explored the model using TensorFlow, and we use the Google Places API from Google Cloud Platform to fetch real-time places. So with no further delay, let me show you the working prototype. So this is the home screen of our mobile application, and we do have a skin trivia down here in order to make users facilitate with what skin does really mean. And if the user wants to get their image classified on what kind of disease they are ailing from, they can tap on the Know Your Skin Disease button, which would prompt them to input an image either from the camera or from their gallery. So in my case, I'm picking an image from the gallery. So I'm picking this image, which has a skin condition, and clicking on the Find button would trigger the machine learning model that was interwoven into the mobile application. So I'm tapping on Find, which would detect the disease for me. And it's going to take me some moments. And the machine learning model suggests that it could possibly be scabies. And if the user thinks that he or she might want to seek doctor's help, they can tap on Seek Doctor's Help, which would take them to a screen which will list a list of hospitals that are near them. So I currently live in India. So these are the hospitals that are in a radius of 20 kilometers from where I live. So this not just gives the hospital address, hospital's name, they can also call or have a word with them by chatting with them. So if I tap on call, it's gonna be taking me to my default phone dialer. And if I just wanna have a word and get all of my queries resolved, I'm clicking on chat button and I can have a chat with the organization and get all of my queries resolved. And this is basically it. And this is what we have got for HackMed 2021, and it was great developing this, and we hope you all liked what we built. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That was way well in time and your time limit. So thank you very much again. And let's see. So we have a last one on the top 5. Again, this the sequence by which we presented, it's totally random. So the last one out of 5, or the 5 finalists, is the project called Two-Way Sign Language Translate. So once more,
Yes,
make yourselves visible. Great. When your whole team that's going to take part in the presentation is here, feel free to start sharing. And again, please stay within 5 minutes.
Is it visible?
Yes, yes, we can see perfectly.
Yeah. Shrishal, could you start?
Yes. Hello. We are from Two-Way Sign Language Translate. As 6.1% of world's population can't hear, which are big in number. So for them, it is difficult to communicate with other family members, cannot talk with them due to disability. So our project will help them to hear by their sign languages. Also, those who don't know sign languages can use our project. It works as it takes a voice from a user and convert it to a sign language in form of a GIF. Also, a sign language from a video is converted text or voice using a machine learning model. So it will be helpful for people who can't hear to communicate with others.
So how it works? First, we divided it into 2 parts. The first is to convert voice or text into sign language. This works by means we scraped GIFs from a website, from Gimfi website, and then we converted that GIFs into means file names. Means at what the GIF contains means like sign languages, and then we took the user input from voice or text and then converted into words, and then just displayed the GIF of the regarding word. The next part is converted sign language to voice or text. Here we used a machine learning model called CNN to convert the camera feed from the user to predicting the data like alphabets, like output of the sign language. And this is the GUI of app. We used a Python library called Tinker to create the GUI. And this is the video demo. We'll start it first. This is the screen. Here we used to we have provided options to user to take voice. This is the first is to voice to sign. Here user can record our voice or he can enter the text, and whenever he hit convert, it will search if the word is present in the GIF data, or if it is not present, then it converts using alphabets. Now here the how is the means like that words are not in the GIF directory, so it converts using alphabets. And these like weather and Thursday, they are present in the GIF directory, so it shows the GIF data. And the next is sign to voice. Here it takes a camera input from the user. And in the bounding box, I have just used the white paper to clear the background. And currently it is not that accurate as we trained with less data. So it converts it into text here. And so next we'll continue with Vishnu.
So basically now the future work that can be done. So the technology stack we used is for front end, we use Tkinter. For data collection and filtering, we use Pillow, OpenCV, Scrapy, WebP, and Kaggle. Machine learning, we use TensorFlow and Keras, and this whole thing was built with Python language.
Okay, so basically now the future, what more can be done to this project in the future? So first we can do by adding the threading to the Tkinter app and just create a web app using GoDaddy domain and just increase the accuracy by training with more data. So, and we can conclude in the way that this is basically 5.1% population is has having hearing loss. So for these people, it's very important to understand day-to-day languages and so that they can also communicate with the other people. So this will help improve the life and make life more accessible for people with disabilities. Uh, Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you very much. Was that the end of the presentation?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Machine learning projects are always interesting. So that would conclude the 5 teams, the 5 projects, and the 5 presentations on the finalists. So we're gonna spend the next few minutes speaking with the judges again and making all the preparations. And we're gonna start the closing ceremony, which would include obviously the awards, and some other notes that we have to let you know before you go back to your normal weekend, or rather what's left of it, and take this well-desired nap, I guess, as we all need right now. Okay, so wait for another Zoom link on Discord. Keep your eyes open for the closing ceremony. Thank you very much. Thank you for all that presented and everyone that created the project. It doesn't matter if you didn't present on the top 5. All of them were really nice projects, and they will feature on the HackMed dev post. Thank you very much, and keep an eye for the closing ceremony link.